Hello and welcome to our cultural audit on sportsdirect.com. It is important first to understand what a cultural audit is. It is defined as the study of the methods and behaviour of an organisation to find out if they are acceptable to its employees, customers and others. To conduct our cultural audit, we use Shine's three-level cultural framework, which consists of Level 1, Surface Manifestations, Level 2, Basic Assumptions, and Level 3, Organisational Values. We should also understand what culture is. The online definition is on the slide, but culture can also be defined as an evolving set of collective beliefs, values, and attitudes. Culture is a key component in business, influencing management, decisions, and all business functions from accounting to production. Sports Direct operates in 19 European countries, with an FY16 group revenue of £2.9 billion. Throughout over 700 stores, they offer 29 international brands and are readily available online. The first level of Shine's cultural framework is the observable culture, meaning it can be seen, heard and felt. For example, the managerial hierarchy, office layout and dress code. The uniform worn by Sports Direct floor staff is primarily red and blue, which can be associated with the Union Jack, showing its British foundations. Customers from the UK are generally more willing to buy products from a British supplier, as there is an innate trust in the quality. Sports Direct prides itself on being the #1 sports retailer in the UK and uses that as its slogan. By publicising the company's size in their slogan, they're advertising to consumers their array of products, thus attracting them to shop in their stores. Their stores are very much like small warehouses, open plan with high ceilings, most of their stock on show and divided into clear subsections. They have a high staff to space ratio, thus reducing wait times for customers to improve their experience when shopping in store. Finally, frequent advertising of professional athletes using the products displayed reassures the customers of the quality. In the warehouses, where stock is sorted and dispatched to the shops themselves, it's quite common that they are cramped and with high shelving full of stock. Sports Direct say that they pride themselves on valuing their 26,500 staff as people, not just employees, creating a family-like environment. On their website, they say, #SDFamily is about unity, it's about being heard, it's about making a difference every day. This map should create a visual representation of the scale of the business, showing how the stores are distributed across the UK, fitting with their slogan of being the UK's #1 sports retailer.
Level 2 of Shine's 3 levels of culture comprises the espoused goals, ideals and norms of a firm. This includes their public statements about their ethics and values and is usually in the form of a firm's core values that they communicate to customers and employees. In Sports Direct's case, their values and ethics are clearly stated on their website. Firstly, Sports Direct are committed to sourcing from suppliers who in themselves carry out ethical practices and provide these suppliers with a strict code of conduct. This code of conduct includes rules relating to fair treatment of workers, safe working environments and fair play for all employees. By following the code of conduct, Sports Direct has managed to create long-standing relationships with their suppliers, shown by approximately 40% of suppliers having been with the company for over 10 years. Furthermore, Sports Direct claim to comply with an internationally recognised list of banned chemicals for use in fabrics and conduct random tests to ensure this is followed. In addition, Sports Direct are committed to community engagement and state that they provide a wide range of equipment and clothing to promote sports participation amongst people of all abilities, including those who would not normally have access to equipment and facilities. Their 500-seat auditorium is regularly utilised all year round by local organisations and councils free of charge. On their website, Sports Direct also claim that they offer a revolutionary commission scheme to employees. This is backed up by stating that since 2007, Sports Direct have paid approximately £120 million in sales commission to retail staff. Furthermore, Sports Direct state on their website that they have several policies and systems in place to ensure staff welfare is monitored and maintained. They also reward employees for excellent performance and meeting objectives by offering tickets to sporty events such as rugby and football. Lastly, and perhaps most controversially, Sports Direct state they have a zero-tolerance approach to modern slavery. They follow this up by saying that they aim to ensure that no modern slavery takes place within their business, and that they will take immediate steps to deal with any organisation or individuals found to be involved in such practices, so that their standards and values are maintained. One way in which they aim to ensure there is no modern slavery is to provide relevant and ongoing training to staff members. This training is also encouraged among their suppliers. However, As we will see in the analysis of Level 3, this is not necessarily the case.
Level 3 of Shine's framework is concerned with what it feels like being involved in the organisation. It's the things you can't see from the outside but come to know when you're in direct contact with an organisation. It gives you an understanding of the culture of the organisation and how it would affect their employees. Level 3 allows you to validate the assumptions, beliefs and expectations of the organisation. When Level 2 and 3 don't align, it often results in a dysfunctional, mismatched culture, which is unlikely to result in the smooth operation of an organisation. Sports Direct clearly states that they have a zero-tolerance approach to modern slavery. However, after investigating these claims in our cultural audit, this wasn't the case at all. Modern-day slavery has occurred in certain parts of the Sports Direct supply chain, but Sports Direct claim to be unaware of such actions. It can therefore be argued that there is a certain lack of care into the details of their supply chain. For example, according to the BBC, members of Sports Direct employed two vulnerable men desperate for work and persuaded these men to let them control their bank accounts. As a result, these men weren't getting paid for the work they performed. It was a clear exploitation and was free labour for the organisation. These standards are unacceptable, especially because it clearly violates the supposed standards that they have set for themselves. This demonstrates the importance of internal investigations for a company and not just believing what they say. There's much more hidden information that happens within the organisation which only becomes apparent when you're involved in it. It is a legal requirement to pay your employees minimum wage and is what would be expected of Sports Direct. HMRC held an investigation on Sports Direct and found that some workers are paid below minimum wage, even though when applying for the job it clearly states in your contract that you will earn the minimum wage. This is unacceptable. There were claims made by some Sports Direct employees that they don't have the funds and can't afford it. We can instantly disprove this because just earlier this year, Sports Direct bought House of Fraser for $90 million. Whilst profit for nearly all firms nowadays is always the aim, there are certain standards expected from firms on their labour standards. Staff should be their priority, but they are treated very poorly. One example of these poor standards is that some workers have been fired for taking too much time off work through illness. Not only does this put immense pressure on the amounts of stress of the workers, it is also morally wrong. To investigate Level 3 of Shine's framework a little deeper, we thought that it would be good to ask someone first-hand about Sports Direct instead of what they tell their target audience and what we could find online. We interviewed members of staff to see what their thoughts were and whether their values and statements match how the company was run. We asked the members of staff whether we could record the answers, but they said that they would prefer us not to if they are going to give us honest answers. We found this quite shocking because clearly not only are their problems in the way that they are treated, but they are also scared of their boss. They all said that they are on 0-hour contracts, which suits them in terms of the flexibility of hours they work in a week. However, some weeks they don't get any hours and often have shifts cut with no notice as they do not have a reliable income. Due to the 0-hour contracts they are all on, it is a new team nearly every day that you work, thus making it difficult to create a close network between employees. The members of staff we interviewed said none of them are underpaid themselves, however they are required to hit targets. They are constantly asked about these targets and are monitored. One employee also stated that they had not heard of Sports Direct Rewards scheme, despite working in 2 stores across the space of 3 years, displaying that it may be a lot less prominent than they suggest.
To conclude, our cultural audit of Sports Direct using Shine's 3 levels of culture has shown that there are clear discrepancies between the values and ethics Sports Direct claim to follow and their actions. While stating that they have a zero-tolerance approach to modern slavery, our analysis has proven that exploitation of workers has occurred within the firm as employees have been underpaid according to HMRC. As mentioned earlier, the result of this misalignment of levels 2 and 3 can be a dysfunctional culture which doesn't run smoothly or efficiently. This was further proven through the employee's description of their job, saying that there's a new team every day, the job isn't very interactive or fun, and they feel highly pressured to meet targets. However, Shine's cultural framework does have its criticisms, which limits the extent of validity of our research. It's hard to understand exactly how a business operates without being part of it because everyone involved will have different views and perspectives on how it operates and how they are treated. This will differ for all companies, and this is something that we need to be aware of when applying for jobs or investigating their values. As a result, Shine's model is subjective as it's the opinions of those involved. The model is too vague and wide. It includes almost everything involved in an organisation, from whether the person smiles to the colour of the pens they use. Therefore, companies get judged over factors that they may not have thought about.